So we're really talking about a major shift here, a tectonic shift. Roots of Empathy is transformational. It's a game changer. Children are not the same after, in a good way. The idea of intrinsic motivation is a pillar of our approach. And intrinsic motivation simply means you do things, you're motivated not for the medals and the ribbons and the trophies and the award and the attention. You do things because they're good things to be doing. They're the right thing to be doing. And so often in education, rewards are the basis of why you do things. So we're not just talking about academics, we're talking about whatever the children are doing. And one of the ways we help them understand this is we stop praising them. Now, you might find that's a strange thing to do, but praise is a judgment. It's a positive judgment. All the power for praise is with the adult. The flip side of praise is criticism. So the minute in a group setting, I'm not talking about at home, I'm talking about in a group instructional setting, the minute we praise one child, everybody else gets nervous because they want to shine in the eyes of the teacher. We want the children to shine in their own eyes. We want the children to have a sense of right, good, appropriate, that's inside of them, that doesn't depend on somebody else shining a light on them. We want it to be grounded and to be real and to be forever. So the most important decision that the child makes is what they think of themselves, because nobody can take that from them. So it eliminates competition, and I don't think competition is a bad thing in the world at all. But if every moment of a child's day is taken up with doing better than somebody else, they need to do well for themselves. They need to have their own agenda for their own sense of what's good and right. So when we ask children along the same lines, we talk about intrinsic pride. What are you proud of? And in Canada, where we've been working with this program for 17 years, very often the children will first of all say, I'm proud because I scored a goal in hockey. Or they might say, I'm proud because I'm the best speller in the class. But once they get into the concept of intrinsic pride, they'll say profound things. I'm proud that I know how to help my mommy when she's tired. I'm proud that I didn't tell my mommy that my teeth hurt because my mommy worked so hard as a second job as a cashier to pay for my braces, and I didn't want her to know that they hurt. So children understand these concepts very deeply, and they go along with them. Another transformational concept and a disruption, if you will, is the idea of emotional literacy. And by this I mean knowing the names for the feelings you experience. Being able to understand those feelings in somebody else, and also being able to discuss with somebody how you feel. And we do this in a very experiential way. The children have guided observation of this little baby and parent who are visiting, and they have focused attention on what they think the baby might be feeling. So that if the baby is feeling frustrated because the baby is not able to reach a toy, we say to the children, well, when was a time that you felt like the baby? And what did you do when you were frustrated? Because we see that the baby turns to the mommy for help. And we see how this baby is able to persevere through frustration. Because in school, it's not just about winning and being first. It's about learning how to lose and deal with disappointment. It's about learning how to take what life gives you and deal with it with courage and perseverance. So that everything that happens on the green blanket with this little baby is not really about the baby at all. It's about what can we learn from the humanity of this baby, the vulnerability of this baby that will help us know ourselves. And if we know ourselves, we have the bridge to knowing the other. Martin Buber's philosophy of I and thou applies to all of us. And if we don't have a good sense of who we are, it's very difficult to understand the other. But we do need to understand the other. To build a peaceful world, we need to be able to connect to one another. What Japan has done so brilliantly is led the world in technology. But the world is leading us now, more than ever before, in a global interconnectedness that includes more than just the science of technology. The science of the heart needs to come along with it, or we will have technology eclipsing our humanity. So there is a need to connect one society to another. And emotional literacy is that connective tissue. Our babies come completely emotionally literate. Teaching them how to read, which is the traditional literacy, is a very complex thing. It's not innate at all. There's nothing intuitive about it. But when you think about it, they are the perfect model of emotional truth. Their little bodies are theaters of emotion. They don't even know where they begin and the mother ends. They are so joined and attuned to the mother. So observing the pure emotion of the baby and learning the names for the baby's feelings gives us the opportunity to flip to the child. So Roots of Empathy really is not about the baby. It's about the children. And we say we are helping them to construct their understanding of self, their own emotional literacy. It was so interesting. The United Nations asked me 2 years ago to come and speak to them on World Literacy Day. And I said, what would you like me to speak about? And they said, well, former First Lady of the United States, Laura Bush, will be speaking with you. And she's going to speak to the need of literacy as a bridge to justice, equality, peace, freedom, all those things. But we heard that you had said that you thought that traditional literacy was important, learning to read was important, but equally important was learning to relate.